Hey, I'm Keith Ledger. No, Keith. I would never do a movie like that. Anyway, I got my scrawny neck compensator.com/pop it up. Bloggity vlog comedy time. Long list of random stuff, and I'm just gonna go through it and bear with me through it, or don't. It doesn't appear from my statistics that most people finish my videos anyway. Need more edits. Cut. I hate it when people say, with friends like you, who needs enemies? Well, who the hell ever needs enemies? I mean, is there really someone out there like, man, I can really use someone to make my life a living hell right now? Nobody I would ever know would ever do that. No. Do you hate people that say, trust me, I've tried that, didn't work? Well, first off, I'm not you, you're an idiot, so you probably did it wrong, and that's why it sucked for you. Second, why am I friends with idiots? Oh yeah, so I won't need enemies. I hate when people ask me how tall someone was. Like, as a tall person, there are 3 different heights in the world that you, as another person, not me, fall into. That's tall, regular, or short. If you're as tall as me or taller, you're tall. If you're a midget, probably less than 5 foot, 5'2", I can tell. You're in the short category. Everybody else, regular. Speaking of sizes, have you ever thought something was a lot smaller than it actually was? Like you needed to clean out a crevice or something, and suddenly you think, I'm a genius. I've got a needle. And it's your lucky day because you actually have a sewing needle somewhere that you remember where it is and you're able to get to it, until you try to use that needle and it's too big. You know, like the worst feeling in the world? Then all of a sudden the world flips upside down, your brain gets fried, and you start going backwards like, oh, what the hell am I going to use now? And suddenly you're thinking of things like a steak knife, like sharp and pointy, it's 10 times larger than a needle, and yeah, it just goes downhill from there. Something I do when typing online that I don't do in person, probably ever, but I do it a lot when I'm typing. I never stick my tongue out at people, but when I'm typing, :-P all the time. I use it as my way of being sarcastic. It's like saying, haha, gotcha, I'm not really serious, jab. I keyed. I don't know where I was going with that. I stole this one. If you own a cat, then you probably just love animals. If you own a sweater with a cat on it, you just love being alone. Skydiving instructors. Can you imagine being strapped onto random strangers' asses? Well, I mean, sometimes it's probably not so bad. But in the case of I would assume that at least half the people they strap onto are not wonderfully hygienic. And they're getting the shit scared out of them. So that's probably not nice. Especially literally. And yeah, what can you imagine flying 30,000 feet straight down with the dude with halitosis and hasn't washed his hair in the last week, strapped as close to you as humanly possible? You can't get out, you can't get away. What are you going to do? Turn your face the other way? I mean, that's as far as you can go. And then it just sounds like a bad idea. Don't. Skydiving instructor, don't do it. My doctor says I have a hard time seeing the bright side of things. I think I have a hard time looking past reality. That's tagged in there. I don't know why. Let me separate that one out. It's not really, I guess it could fit with me. Skydiving is so great, but if you were the instructor, that's reality. Whatever. I used to think that having neighbors would expand my social network, like living in an apartment as opposed to living in a house, where you're basically forced to interact with other people. After living in an apartment, however, I realized that the person with the vendetta against their floor that lives above you, I can hit this floor, or they just have heavy feet, or they just own an elephant, is not someone you are going to want to be friends with. So that one's off. And then you realize that the cost of training a dog not to bark at the wind or fleas or invisible people, and not to poop on the walkways through the apartment complex, it must be way outside of the middle class budget, because nobody does it. They don't train their dogs. Grr. And it's been 6.5 minutes, and I did a tiny bit of nothing out of this list. So there'll be more like this. Yep, sucks for you.